What's going on, guys? It's RIZE Inkz here, and today I will be giving an explanation on all of the new controller settings that were added in the latest Fortnite update. So you want to go ahead and go to your settings, and if you check out your regular settings tab, you'll be able to see that all of these settings are grayed out. But don't worry, just go on to the next tab, and this is the new controller sensitivity tab. At first, these will be the only settings you have, and these are called the basic settings. The ones back here, the old settings, these are called your legacy settings. So what you want to go ahead and do is make sure to turn on use advanced options. You'll get a warning here that says please use caution when changing it. As long as you don't change anything important, you should be good. Just make sure to pay attention to the video and you should be good. If you change anything on accident, you can always just restore your settings and you'll be good. Just make sure to hit confirm, and then you'll get access to all of the new settings. So what you want to do, first of all, you want to scroll all the way down, and where it says use legacy look controls, if that is turned on, make sure to turn it off, or else these settings will all be grayed out. If you have this turned on, let me apply, sorry about that. If you have this turned on, you'll be stuck on the old legacy settings, and you won't be able to adjust any of the new settings. Here's a tip that I have that you should all stick to, I guess. Make sure to, if you're not already used to your sensitivity and you just want to find a new sense that you're comfortable with, I would turn on use legacy look controls, and then find a sensitivity that you really like with these settings. And once you get comfortable and used to that sensitivity, then you want to head over to this tab and start messing around with those settings and try to change them around a bit. So if you just want to go straight to these settings, what you want to do is turn off use legacy look controls and make sure you hit copy legacy settings. All this will do is it'll copy these settings to this tab, and if you only mess around with these 4 settings up here, the basic settings, then you go ahead and just hit copy from basic and it'll copy those settings. Okay, so now I will be breaking down all of the new sensitivities. So look horizontal speed, this is pretty much just your X sensitivity, your left to right sensitivity. Once again, make sure you find your sensitivity you like here, and then you can copy from legacy settings and it'll copy it onto here, along with the vertical, which is just your Y sensitivity, up and down. The reason your Y sensitivity will be higher than your X sensitivity is because even if on the regular tab you have the same exact X and Y sensitivity, on here the Y will be higher because on controller, or on keyboard too, I guess, but this video is about controller, you can look left to right infinitely. You can just spin in a circle countless times without stopping. So your sensitivity could be a little lower, I guess. As where up and down vertically, there's a limit to how high or how low you can look. You can't just like look behind you and come back around. You get to a certain point where you can't look up or down anymore. And for this certain reason, your vertical sensitivity will be a little bit higher than your vertical, or than your horizontal. Sorry. So, turning horizontal boost. So what this does is, once your stick reaches its limit as to how far it can go horizontally, this will give it a boost that'll push it past the look horizontal speed that you have it set at. So what I mean by this is, if you look at the controller on the screen, if I put my right stick all the way to the right, this is the speed that it will look at. Now if I turn the horizontal boost up to 100, right now I'm spinning in a circle, but my right stick isn't all the way to the edge, so it keeps spinning at the same speed. As to where if I flick it all the way to the right, it'll continuously gain speed until it's at its max limit, which is a lot faster than if I have it at 0, as you can see. Now for the Y, the vertical boost, it's the same exact thing, but for up and down. So all this does is when you're, as you can see, you know, it goes up and down at the same speed, but once I flick up and down, it gradually gets faster. And this is because of the boost. This is only once your stick is already as far as it can go. Now for the turning boost ramp time, all this pretty much does is it adjusts the time at which these two sensitivities apply at. So if you have this at the max, which is 1 second, what this will do is it'll take 1 second to reach this vertical boost that you have it set at. And if you have it at 0 seconds, as soon as your stick is flicked all the way to the right, left, up, or down, it'll reach that vertical boost or horizontal boost time. Now for instant boost when building, what this does is it apply these boosts that you have set instantly when you pull out your build mode. So those settings will instantly be on once I pull out my builds, but they won't instantly be on if I don't have my builds out. For ADS settings, this is the same thing, but for whenever you're aiming down sights. So I won't really get too into detail with it because it's practically the same thing. Sorry about that. It's practically the same thing, but with your ADS. So look horizontal speed. It's just the speed at which you look horizontally, your X sensitivity, but for ADS. For vertical, it is just your Y sensitivity up and down for when you're ADS, aiming down sights. The turning horizontal boost is just that boost once your stick is flicked all the way to the right or the left. It'll start to get faster once your stick is all the way flicked. Same thing for the vertical boost is the vertical boost, yeah, down here. It'll do it the same thing but for up and down. Once your stick is all the way up, it'll start getting faster than your normal sense. As for the turning boost ramp time, once again, just like up there, this is just determines the time that it takes for this boost to apply. So if you have it at 0 seconds, the boost will instantly apply once your stick is all the way up. And if you have it at 1 second, it'll take 1 second before that boost applies when your stick is flicked. Now for your advanced sensitivity, the look dampening time, I like to think of it as just input delay. So you wouldn't want it all the way at 1 second, and you might not want it all the way at 0 seconds. I feel like the 0.2 seconds that it's defaulted to is the perfect time. This is just the time it takes pretty much. Once your stick makes a movement, this is the time it takes for the game to actually do the movement you did on your stick. So I think 0.2 seconds is the perfect time, but you might want to lower that depending on the person. Now for your look input curve, I definitely recommend exponential. I wouldn't even mess with linear personally, because linear, well, if you do a movement on your stick, it'll instantly do that movement, kind of like mouse and keyboard. So what this does is it makes it a lot harder to control your sensitivity, and your gameplay overall will look unsmooth, and it's just pretty hard to control your sense. And then for the exponential, it's, as it says, exponential. Sorry, I clicked apply. I gotta go back down. It's just like all your smaller stick movements have less of an effect. So if you barely move your stick, it doesn't really have an effect, as you can see. But if I have it on linear, those small movements will move a lot faster, as you can see. Same exact movement of the stick, but linear just moves faster than the exponential does. Okay, and then for aim assist strength, you want to make sure this is at 100% in order to make all keyboard and mouse players angry. You don't even want it at 99%. They won't be angry enough if it's at 99%. So make sure it's at 100. Okay, all jokes aside, you definitely do want this at 100% though. There's no reason for it to be at anything below 100%, as it'll just give you less of an advantage. I don't know why Epic even added this option to begin with, but it says lowering the setting is not recommended, so I just wouldn't even touch that, just leave it at 100. Now, I already went over it earlier, but if you don't want to touch any of these settings, you're not interested in them, you're just a casual player, you just want to play with your old sensitivity, just use legacy look controls, turn that on, apply, and then you can edit your old sensitivity and just use that in game. And then copy from basic, it'll just copy these, copy from legacy, it'll just copy these. Now, I just want to give the difference between the legacy look controls and the new advanced settings. So when you have the legacy look controls turned on, it's the old settings. What this does is you keep the old aim assist, you still have the L2 snap-on feature that a lot of keyboard players and all players really called L2ing, where you spam your L2 or your LT. This is still a part of the game if you use legacy look controls. So if you see an enemy or a target and you aim onto them, as long as you're around them, it'll still snap onto them. Now, as for the new settings, whenever you aim onto a target or a player, you don't get that snap on. So you have to aim onto them yourself. You don't get any snap on them at all. But once you're aimed onto them, you get a lot of aim assist that helps you track that player and almost completely tracks for you. Not obviously completely. There's still a lot you have to do on your part, but it just helps a lot more than the legacy look controls to track the player. But other than that, that's all of the new settings that was added in the latest Fortnite update. And that's it for today's video. RIZE Inkz is out, and I hope you all have a beautiful day or night. Peace out.